What's up, guys? A guy in his junk here. Today we're going to be doing some spark plugs and some spark plug wires. So obviously need some new parts, ratchet and extension, your spark plug socket. Make sure it's a spark plug socket, because those things have a little rubber piece there in the center that'll help protect your spark plug as you're installing it. Very important. Screwdriver, some Q-tips, a little rubbing alcohol. I'll explain these guys here in a little bit. So, let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start off by taking this cover off here. Now, when you're taking your cover off, for mine, use the Phillips. But just like your socket size, you're going to make sure you get the right size of Phillips. See how that's got way too much play into it? I can move that thing quite a bit. Make sure you grab the right size that'll go in there and fit nice and tight. So I'll go ahead and remove these guys. Now I like to loosen them all up before I take them completely out. We'll set these over to the side, somewhere I'm not going to lose them. Take the oil cap out of the way, and it should just pop right up. Just like that. There's all my spark plugs and spark plug wires, where they're all at. Now I'm going to stick this guy back on, just to make sure nothing falls up inside of there. And always, as always, screw your nuts back in. Don't be losing your nuts. Your bolts. Here we go. Now I know they won't get lost. So we'll go ahead and start with the farthest one away. This will be number one for me. So grab it here at the base and just pull up, and that comes right out. Now I'll go ahead and just remove this whole guy. Set him off to the side. Grab my ratchet extension. And my spark plug socket. There we go. Now we can pop these guys out. We'll just twist it the rest of the way by hand, maybe a little bit faster. And we'll pull it out. Maybe. Come on. Okay. Alright, since my spark plug socket's not as good as it used to be, getting a couple years on her, she's not grabbing the spark plug like she's supposed to. And grab a magnet here and just stick it down. And that'll pull that right out. Now I can look at my spark plug here. And there we go. You can just see how dirty and corroded it is. It's definitely seen some better days. Starting to spark in the wrong areas right around here. You can kind of see the burntness. I'm sorry, my camera's not doing the greatest. Not my hand, fool. There we go. Yep. These are definitely bad. And let's see, these are definitely copper. Alright. So, we get rid of that guy. And go after the new spark plugs. These spark plugs are iridium, so I will not have to gap them. These already come preset. Okay, stick the spark plug in there. It's probably not going to want to hold. Just slide it down in there. Now I'm going to tighten it by hand. I should be able to tighten it quite a ways. Before I need my ratchet. These don't have to be super tight. You see I'm not keeping my hand down here. I'm just holding it right here and get about as tight as I can right here. And that's good enough. Now, I'll grab a spark plug box. We're gonna get all these spark plugs out of here. That's the side. I'm gonna lay these out as well. Just like this, longest to shortest. There we go. Now, since we're the farthest away from the coil pack, this is the guy we'll be putting on. Okay, I'll just go ahead and slide this right up in there. We're going to push it down. And that's it. This guy's going to snap right along here and down to the last one. Now, before I put that in there, we're going to take our alcohol, one of our Q-tips, put a little there on the end. We're actually going to clean inside here. Right in there, right where she connects to. That way I know all those connections are nice and clean. We're going to have a bunch of dirt and crap all over it. Just like that. Okay, that should be pretty good. And you can see some stuff come out. Got a little dirt, not too bad. She was pretty clean. Now that I got the Q-tip in there and got that all cleaned out, just one more check. Got all the stuff out of there that I could. Go ahead and snap this piece right in there. Should go down just like that.
Hey, Kitty, what are you doing? Meow. Meow, meow.
I like to give it a couple turns as I push down just to make sure she's all the way down. That feels good. That's good to go. Now we'll get started with the next one. Pop that out. Put this guy in. Come on, come out. You can do it. You can do it. Here she comes. Yep, still looking pretty bad. Thankfully, we got new ones. Get this guy in there. Stick it back in. Now, some people like to use anti-seize. It's definitely a good thing to have and use. I kind of forgot to grab some, but if you don't have any, it's not that big of a deal. Grab my Q-tip again, put some spray on there, a little bit of alcohol, and we'll clean this side out. Now, if yours is the other way, they actually have the little prong sticking up and out, you just grab a piece of cloth and some rubbing alcohol and clean the outside of it. Well, it's not too bad either. We'll go with the second longest one. Stick that down. Go down all the way, just like that. And we'll just stick it right in. Alrighty, I'll get the rest of these done and we'll have another little conversation after I'm done with this. Want to stop the video real quick and show you guys the problem with these. You see that torn in the insulation? This is where the misfire in my engine was coming from. It wasn't a very strong misfire, but it was just slight. It was the problem the whole time. So if you have any tears inside your spark plugs at all, make sure you replace them. I've seen guys try to use electrical tape, and that will not work. It has to be this good solid rubber. So make sure you inspect your spark plug wires if you plan on reusing them. Alright, now that everything's on, I noted where that wire was injured, or ruined, was right here around this edge nut. So I want to make sure this wire is nice and far away, and keep things tight, make sure nothing's going to re-smash that wire. That looks good to me. We'll go ahead and throw this cover back on. Just like such. Just want to get them all started before I tighten them down. When you stick it in, any bolt, back into its place, one little trick you can do is when you stick that in, to make sure you don't cross thread it, is just spin it backwards. Just like that, and you'll hear that little click. When you hear that click, you're good to go the other way. Let's see if we can hear it again. Just like that. Now I know I can go the other way. It's a good way to prevent cross-threading with anything you're working on. Any bolts, anytime. Put the oil cap back on here. And she's good to go. Alright, so that's how you change spark plugs in your car. Not too complicated of a situation, really easy process to get these little guys out and put new ones in. Really help you out, your fuel mileage and everything else. So if you don't know when these guys have been replaced, make sure you do that now. It'll definitely help your car out, especially when they get nice and crusty and dirty like that. We'll go over a couple of different things, why I replaced these here. And the main reason I did is because of this. I seen the damage on that boot and I didn't like it. Any amount of damage, any cutting there, even on the one down here, had a little bit right there, nice little cut there on the side. Any amount of damage to your insulation on that rubber will really affect the sparking, even just a little bit. That's why I decided to replace these guys. I'm very happy I did, because obviously got a really bad situation there. That's actually part of the wiring that was letting the spark plug jump out. So not only was I losing sparking, I was losing fuel mileage. So thankfully I did grab those. Spark plugs, these aren't too horrible, not the worst ones I've ever seen, but still I wanted to replace them because I don't know when they were done last. These are NGK Type R. It's a copper spark plug. Copper today is still the best performing spark plug that you can get. Nothing will outperform copper. You're going to get better performance and better miles per gallon with copper. Nothing will top copper. Now, you got things like platinum, iridium, and probably a few other ones that are brand new. But copper is always the best one for performance and miles per gallon. But your iridium and platinum will last longer. Your iridium being the top of the three lasting, your platinum being about the middle, and your copper is the lowest lifespan. That's why a lot of people have stopped buying copper and going with like iridium. But nothing still beats copper. Now iridium's not bad. You can definitely go with that spark plug. It depends on what you're driving. For me, like in my big truck, I buy copper. I want that thing to get the best performance and best MPG I can out of that thing because it's such a big engine. So for that, I go copper. For that little car I just bought, iridiums will work fine. The only thing I will suggest you not do is do not buy platinum. Those are the worst. The life balance and what you're losing out of spark it's not worth it. If you're going to do anything, the only ones I would suggest is going with copper or iridium. So really that's the only difference between the spark plugs is performance and longevity. Copper, performance, iridium, longevity. There is 4 different types of spark plugs. The one I'm forgetting about, it goes copper, silver, platinum, iridium. I'd only suggest using the 2 of those, copper, iridium. I know a lot of different guys have different brands they like to use, and I will tell you the brands that I would suggest. There's 4 different kinds. 3 for your car, 1 for your lawnmower. Okay? For your car, no matter what you're driving, depending on what you need, NGK, AC Delco, or Motorcraft. Those are the only 3 spark plugs you want to use for your vehicle. Anything else is generally just garbage anyway. And if you have a lawnmower or weed whacker or whatever it is, the only brand you should be putting inside those things are Champions. Those things are damn good spark plugs too. But that's really the difference between the brand and kind of the different types of spark plugs. You got a Chevy AC Delco all day long. If you're running a Ford Motorcraft, NGK goes in about everything. So generally, if you don't know which one to get for your car, go with NGK. They've been a really good quality spark plug for many, many years. Otherwise, that's all I have for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and catch you next time.